Well, Mrs. Dawn, people are in the camera again.
Well, yes. Well, I hope we are anyway.
I hope they are too. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's David.
I'm Jill.
She's Jill. I'm David, she's Jill. And we're sitting in Vandromeda. And given the time that we're recording this, on November the 5th, we are...
in lockdown.
We're not travelling, are we?
No.
So welcome to Vandromeda's Travels in Lockdown. One of the things that's dearest to my heart, obviously, not including you in this, because you are the most dearest thing in my heart, my darling, my love, my sweet, my own.
Let's get on with it.
Is coffee. I love me coffee. I think I'm not alone. You like a cuppa, don't you?
Coffee in the morning, yeah.
Yes. Got to have a coffee on the morning.
Yeah.
And when we're on a hookup, that's not a problem, is it?
What do you mean it's not a problem?
Well, when we're on a hookup, getting a coffee's, well, it is, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because we like ground coffee.
Proper coffee.
Well, what we call proper coffee. Not everybody will call it proper coffee. Not everybody will like the coffee that we drink, but we do. So, at home, we have a big bean to cup.
We have a big bean to cup machine, we do.
But it's too big to take with us. Plus, it uses too much power, doesn't it?
Well, that's what yes.
You know.
I kind of got a bit ahead of myself, didn't I?
Yes.
If space wasn't a problem, if weight wasn't a problem, but mostly space, then when you're on an EHU, an electric hook-up, it took me ages to work out what that meant.
Okay, right.
EHU, I was thinking, somebody misspelled Rod Hull? Anyway, when you're on an EHU, when you're hooked up somewhere, it's not a problem, is it? Then you can take what you like if you've got the room and the weight.
Yeah, but our coffee machine...
It's too big.
It's too big.
It's too heavy, and I would forget to empty the reservoir when we set away.
It's just not practical for a motorhome. So, we tried something else, didn't we?
We did. We tried
Have you got it now?
That is what they call a mocker pot. And that's all right, isn't it?
It's okay, yeah.
But that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. I found it, you've got to get it spot on, otherwise you get all, well, this is me, you get all bits of coffee floating in your coffee. And
it's because of the way it works.
Well, and the way we ground the coffee, I suppose.
Yes.
Probably it was too fine.
So we tried the mocker pot, and that's all right. And but it's still not an espresso, is it?
No.
And try as hard as we might, and Lord knows we have, I can't get it to be as thick and creamy as an espresso. So, my darling wife, because she's clever that way, had a little bit hunt round Amazon, because what we want is something that we can use on this as well as anything else. Now this is the Hyundai HPS 1100. It's a power pack, and we've now got the solar charger for it, but that's in an entirely different video, and I'll show you that then. So this will charge from 12 volts via the lighter socket in the van, or it'll charge via 13 amps, a normal plug in the wall. 13 amp socket. So if you're on a hookup, you can charge it up. That's great, no problem at all. Or you can charge it while you're on the move from the cigarette lighter socket in your dashboard, because as I understand it, the 12 volt sockets in the back of the van in the habitation,
yes,
they don't work when you're moving. But you could charge it up with that, and it just needs the standard thing to a 2.1mm, and that plugs in the back. So this is currently switched on and in AC mode. So we're going to try and see, because if this...
Do it down. Oh,
Alright, I've gone ahead of myself again, haven't I?
Yeah.
Smack me hand.
No.
Aww.
So we tried a Tassimo,
We tried a Tassimo.
which our daughter had, and the types of coffee that we like, it was rather expensive. The pods were rather expensive. Wasn't as nice as
Proper coffee.
the coffee we have at home. So it was working out quite expensive for the Tassimo for what we wanted. So that was the second thing we tried. It didn't particularly work for
And when
us.
we tried it on here, on the HPS 1100, even in the 13 amp, wouldn't work. Now, there's loads and loads and loads of 12 volt coffee makers, but they're all drip coffee makers,
Filter coffee.
filter coffee. And no, that's no good for me at all.
Well, that's not our.
That's not
It's
what
not our cup of tea.
well, no, because that
It's coffee.
yes.
Yeah.
So many punchlines, so little time.
Mm-hmm.
So we had as I say, a fertile around Amazon and came up with this little beastie here, which is, I shall put on my close-up seeing glasses. It's an espresso machine and milk frother. Would you believe? Amazon Basics, and how much was it, love?
$49.99.
Was it that much? 44. Was it 44? 49? 44, I thought.
Oh, maybe.
Something like that. It was well under 50 quid.
It was under, yes, it was under 50 quid.
Well under 50 quid. And what's more to the point, look how many languages it comes in. That's got to be good. It's a straight... What?
Nothing.
I cannot help myself. It's a straightforward manual espresso machine, is what it is. Straightforward manual espresso machine.
And for David, that's good. It's manual, because he's the only one that's used it. And if David can use it, it should be alright. Carry on.
Are you saying I'm not very good
No.
at things?
Carry
Right.
on.
So let's go through this, because I want to know that it's going to run off the HPS 1100. We know it runs off mains.
Yes,
I should say it's 850 watts.
yes.
The HPS 1100 will do 1000 watts constant and 2000 watts peak. So this being 850 watts, it should not exceed the 2000 watts peak. Now this is an experiment, and so we're bringing you along with us. Here we go. Fingers in your ears in case it goes bang. It won't go bang. Can you hear the fan?
Mm-hmm.
That means it's working. And it's pulling, it says there, 770 watts. There or thereabouts. And that's because that's all getting heated up. Still it's 770 odd watts, so it's obviously still heating everything up, which is fine. Right. I will now put some coffee in the coffee thingy that you put the coffee in, the brew head, in other words. And what I really like about this, which actually, can I move that over there?
Mm-hmm.
There you are, it's stopped heating up and it's now down to 2 watts. And look, the bottom thing, the blue light at the bottom's come on, look, on the bottom switch, which means it's ready.
Yeah.
So you put your coffee into the brew head, tamp it, just gently. There's no need to go all, you know, I am a strong man on it. Make sure there's no little... I'm trying to teach you how to do this so that I can lie in bed longer on a morning. Right, it is tamped. I'm at a distance, that's the problem. That's better. Yeah, that seems to be alright, I think. Yep, that's it. Put my little glass underneath. I shall move the milk round to the back for the moment. Fingers crossed, people. It went up to 770 watts. It's now going to get a little jerk. 83 watts. 81 watts. It's pumping water through. When I see a little dribble, I'll stop.
Yes, there is a water reservoir
Right.
at the back.
That's gone up to 780 watts. And now that I've damped me ground, we can brew. And look at that. Well, I do hope they can see that creamer on top of that. and up to that mark, that's it. Stop. That's as far as I need to go. I've just brewed a coffee off the HPS 1100, but we don't finish there. For now, we need to switch the middle switch to steam. And again, it's a 700 and odd watts. A little bit more milk.
Right, so that goes in there, does it?
Yep. You just have to angle it, love.
Yeah.
I'll pull it over to the side of the table to make it easier. There you are. That's in. And then there's a knob on the side. And then you turn the knob that away. And the wattage is at 1 watt. Sorry.
I'm trying to see what the temperature was. What temperature you want to test?
Stick it further up. No, not the thermometer. The cup. Move the cup further up. The lower down it is, the more froth we'll get, and I don't want too much froth. Temperature are we at? I want to go to 72. Now we're back up at 770 watts now. 779 watts, 780 watts. This is good. Huh?
50.
50, right. You can hear the pump pumping. You can hear the fan. Are we there?
Yeah.
72. Now it's 785 watts. We haven't hit 850 yet. 790, 538, 301, 3 watts.
70.
That'll do. That'll do. I hope that wasn't too noisy for everybody. That's it, and just pull that over. Lush. And we end up with a nice that looks rather pleasant. Now I haven't sugared it.
No.
So do you want to try it? This is going to be the biggie. See what Jill says. Temperature wise?
Okay.
Nice?
Mm.
A nice coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I try it?
No, that's it.
Now, I should point out, at this point we are from the same household. We have been known to kiss. So it's quite alright for me to drink out of this mug because I also suit that shade of lipstick. See what it's like. Oh, that really is nice, and it's not burned.
No.
There's no bitter taste.
No. 70 degrees is, if you turn it off at 70, it's warm enough.
Yes, it'll get it up to 72. That's the way you go. Oh, you should switch that off as well.
Turn the top one off.
Well, yes, we can do. So, I think that's good.
And then tell me, what did you do with that?
Oh, right. Now, at this point in time, I wouldn't normally do this. Do you want to do your camera person thing, or shall I do it later in post, or shall we do a separate shot on it? On this handle here is a little, I don't know what you would call it, a doohickey that comes up and will actually grip over the top of the removable shower head thing that's in there. Even though when you put it on, you actually, again it's difficult to see, but there's a little slot there that you have to slot the takeoutable bit in. I've got no fingernails, you know. So you just hold that over there, it's not going to fall out, and knock it out. And that's it. Cleaned. Now, that'll do.
So my recommendation there would be then to get some kitchen roll and just
Give it a wipe.
wipe it round. I wouldn't recommend that you put that under the tap, because what you don't want are bits of coffee grounds in your grey water tank?
Well, I suppose not. I
No,
don't
you
know.
don't.
You
You
don't.
don't. Because going by what they're like in my ordinary sink in the kitchen, they can be there for ages and you think
Yes.
you've got rid of them all and then all of a sudden they're back again. I wouldn't, because it's a nut note on it. It's just something else that you might have to do later on. I'd rather wipe it.
Right, now the technical stuff. And I don't know whether you'll be able to see this at all, but the HPS 1100 was fully charged. It was on 100%. It's taken 3% of its charge in order to brew that coffee. Because it was running for a while. But that means that you would, because you can use all of the 110 amp hours on this. So if it's 3% per go, that's 30 odd days at one coffee a time. Well, I'm going to say I think you would get 2 coffees done for that 3%. I honestly do.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, because
you're not warming it up each time, are you?
no, once it's up to heat, it's up to heat.
Yeah.
Well, we can try. We can actually try if you want. Do you want to make another one?
No,
or?
no. We'll monitor it and let people know.
So yes, we'll keep you apprised of that. But we think we've found the machine to take. Now we know from past experience. I'll put that there so it dripped into the
I know what you did,
drippy container thing.
but I don't know what's underneath.
Ah, what's underneath there? Right. Right. Yes. If you pull that out, you can put a deeper glass in if you so desire, because that is your drip tray
And
that comes out.
okay, yeah,
So you can put a deeper glass in there if you want,
okay.
and then put your drip tray back in, I
So-
suppose.
You could stand it in there, then.
Well, you could take that off, or you could take the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Either way,
Okay.
but it's got a removable drip tray
Just bear in mind that at some point that will fill
and need to be emptied.
and will need to be emptied. And again, I would not empty it down into the grey tank. But that's just me.
I'm not saying what I would do.
Not just me.
No, it's not just you.
No, but I do put the coffee grounds on the garden. It helps the plants and it keeps the slugs away. So they tell me.
Right.
Good.
Yes, you could quite happily put it on grass and help the grass grow.
But ask first.
But ask first. Anyway, look, the whole thing about this was because people have shown an interest in the HPS 1100. Now, Hyundai do a 300 and a 600 as well as the 1100. There's also a 1500 and an even bigger one. And the even bigger one will do, I am told, 2 kilowatts, 2000 watts before anything happens. Problem is, they're a bit like, what do you call it? Rocky horse droppings. Hen's teeth. They're difficult to get hold of. But if you can get hold of one, people also want to know what they cost. This currently, the HPS 1100 is currently available at around the £850 mark if you search around. The problem is they're very rarely in anywhere. They're not easy to get hold of, but they are substantially cheaper than others of the same capacity, I'm going to say. One was recently reviewed, which I thought was lovely, but it's 1,500 quid. It's twice the price of this one if you shop around, nearly, which seems a tad excessive to me. I think 850 quid for what this will do is grand. I quite like that. And as I say, we've now got the solar charger for it, which we would have done today, but it's too dark outside for you to see. And anyway, I want to be able to run it down a little bit, and this was already fully charged. So 850 quid for the HPS 1100. I think it's worth it, given that we know we can get coffee off grid.
Absolutely.
Proper coffee off grid. That's the great thing. And as I say, I think that's 45, somewhere between 45 and 50 quid on Amazon. But you've got to find less than 1,000 watts. Anything more than 1,000 watts, and it's not guaranteed it's going to work. That says it's 850 watts. It seems to have been less than 800 watts right the way through when we've made that coffee and steamed that milk. That works for me. It absolutely is fine. So there you go. What?
I just want to. Have you got the book? The booklet?
For the coffee machine?
Yeah.
There you are.
Because, just to let you know, that this is a...
Amazon Basics?
no,
No.
the van.
The van?
Is a...
It's a Swift
Thank you. Better car.
Bessicar
Right.
584.
Right.
Yes.
That will fit in one of these overhead
Lockers?
lockers if you take the shelf out, and it is extremely light. Oh, approximately 2.95 kilos.
Or just under 3 kilos. £6 if you're watching in America.
Yeah. So really, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
If you don't like your coffee, then don't bother. But you know.
But if you like an espresso,
Uh-huh.
that was it. That's.
Mhm.
I'm impressed by that. Do you want? Have a bit more.
Yes, it's nice. That.
It's not gritty.
No.
Lovely. Are we done then?
We're done then.
We're done.
Yeah.
We done. That's it. The coffee machine exposition is done and dusted. I hope you found it useful.
Mhm.
I might, if I can work out how, I'll put links to stuff down below, and then you can do what you will with them. Makes no difference to me either way. Yes. So if you found it useful, one of those good old thumbs up would be good. And can I just say a big thank you to everybody that's subscribed. We're over 100 subscribers now. So yes, thank you very much for subscribing if you have done. If you haven't, would you like to consider doing that? That would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be very nice. Thank you.
And when you subscribe, you'll see a little bell icon. Could I ask you please to give it one, dong it, ding it, ba-ding, and stuff like that. And that'll give you a notification when next we put some rubbish up for you to watch.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
And if you've got any comments, you know, for doing
Or
things,
any questions you want to ask,
or you know,
please do.
if you want to call us names, me, not her, call her names, I'm coming after you. Call me, I don't care. Down below is the place to do it, down there in the comments section. Down. In the comments section, down below.
Oh, dear me. Bye.
See you next time on the next one. Bye.